Have you felt it lately, that strange heaviness in the air? The sense that something is about to shift, that heaven itself is watching, waiting, whispering your name. The winds of the Spirit are not calm tonight. They're urgent, they're charged. Something divine is trying to reach you, and if you're hearing this now, it's not by accident. Chosen one, stop everything for a moment. This is not another ordinary word. This is not a coincidence. This is a final divine warning, a message sent straight from the throne room of heaven. God has been trying to get your attention, not to scare you, but to save you. You have reached a spiritual crossroads, and the next move you make will determine what opens and what closes in your destiny. You've been sensing it for a while now. The restlessness, the repeated signs, the dreams that won't leave you alone. Heaven has been speaking through delays, through disruptions, through the silence that's been testing your faith. You've cried, "God, what are you doing?" And heaven's reply has been consistent. "I am warning you because I love you. I'm redirecting you before it's too late." This word is not for everyone. Not everyone will understand its weight. But those who are truly chosen, those marked by heaven for divine assignment, will feel this message pierce straight through the noise. Because deep in your spirit, you already know this truth. Something is ending, and something new is about to begin. God is saying, "The window is closing, the season of waiting is over. What I told you to do, do it now. What I asked you to release, let it go. What I warned you about, don't return to it. You can't stay where you were and step into what's next." You've prayed for breakthrough, but breakthrough requires obedience. Heaven cannot release what you refuse to move toward. Chosen one, you are being called out of delay and into divine alignment. This is not punishment, it's protection. God is separating you from distractions, from counterfeits, from cycles that drain your destiny. He's saying, "I'm not trying to scare you, I'm trying to prepare you. The time is short, and your calling is too great." So, listen carefully, don't let this word pass you by. Heaven's timeline is accelerating. The trumpet has already sounded in the Spirit. The door that's been standing open will not stay open forever. This is your wake-up call, your final warning, your divine opportunity to realign before time runs out. If your spirit is stirring right now, act on it immediately. Type 777 inches the comments as your prophetic declaration. Like this video as your agreement with heaven's timing. Share it with another chosen one who needs this warning before it's too late. And make sure you stay until the very end, because the next revelation I'm about to release will explain exactly what heaven needs you to do now to secure what's coming next. This is not just a message, it's a revelation written for your soul. God's chosen ones, don't ignore this final warning. Time is running out. Listen closely, and don't blink because heaven is leaning in. Something unseen is unfolding behind the veil, and God is about to reveal what has been hidden in plain sight, what's been wrong, and how to realign it before it's too late. There are moments in life when the divine doesn't simply whisper, it shakes you awake. You can almost feel it in your chest, like the echo of thunder before the storm breaks. This is not coincidence. It is not imagination. It is a sacred intervention designed to pull you out of the fog before it swallows you whole. For some of you, this message feels personal because it is. You've sensed the shift, the tightening of time, the unseen hand rearranging circumstances. What once felt stable now trembles. What once comforted now unsettles. The universe itself seems to whisper your name in ways you can't ignore anymore. God's voice is not always loud, but when He calls your name, the world around you begins to rearrange itself to make sure you hear. He is warning you now not to scare you, but to realign you. The path you're walking, though noble, may not be fully aligned with your divine blueprint. And unless you listen, truly listen, You risk being trapped in cycles of illusion, in promises that glitter but never satisfy. Each delay strengthens the distractions, each compromise dulls your vision. And yet, even in this, God's mercy speaks through the chaos. As written in Isaiah 30-21, whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it." That is what this moment is, a divine interruption, a spiritual lifeline tossed into turbulent waters. You have been struggling to stay afloat, pulled by unseen tides of doubt and fear, but heaven has not turned away. God's hand is extended now, steady and sure, cutting through the storm with clarity. Will you take it, or will you keep fighting against the very current meant to carry you home? The truth is, divine messages never arrive too early or too late. They appear precisely when your soul is ready to understand them. You might ask yourself, why now? Why this moment? Why this message? Because your spirit has reached the frequency where truth can finally penetrate the noise. This is not a warning meant to punish, it's a revelation meant to awaken. Even when it feels inconvenient, even when it dismantles your comfort, it is God's way of saying, I trust you enough to tell you the truth. When you acknowledge this message not with fear, but with reverence, you step into a level of clarity that few ever touch. You begin to see the architecture of heaven unfolding within your own life. Every delay, every heartbreak, every unanswered prayer becomes part of a greater pattern, a design so intentional that even your pain carries divine precision. And this, chosen one, is where the new chapter begins. Psalm 32:8 reminds us, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you. That is the energy of this moment. You are being guided by an eye that never sleeps, a hand that never wavers, a love that never fails. The path ahead is sacred, but it demands one thing, your full surrender. You cannot receive divine guidance with a divided heart. You have been trained for this. Through every storm, every betrayal, every night you cried and still chose faith, you were being shaped. The spiritual muscles you built in silence are the very tools you'll need for what comes next. God has observed your endurance, your willingness to grow, and your quiet obedience when no one was watching. The foundation is nearly complete. Heaven has been constructing a masterpiece beneath the surface, and the final piece is about to fall into place. Imagine a seed that has waited through winters unseen, buried in darkness, enduring the press of the earth. To the world, it looked lifeless, but deep inside, the divine blueprint was alive, pulsing, waiting for its appointed hour. That seed is you. Every prayer you whispered, every act of forgiveness you gave when it wasn't deserved, every time you rose again after falling, all of it was preparing the soil for the bloom that now approaches. This is your plan A. Not the fallback, not the version you settled for, but the original design God wrote over your life before time began. Jeremiah 29:11 says, For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. You are now standing on the threshold of that divine promise. But don't mistake readiness for arrival. The seed may be ready to sprout, but the environment must still be aligned. Sunlight, water, faith, trust. These are not luxuries, they are necessities. The divine cannot flourish where fear rules. You are being called not to force growth, but to embody it. You are not meant to chase miracles. You are meant to become one. The artist Caravaggio once said that true light can only be understood in contrast with deep shadow. Perhaps that's why your trials were so dark, so that the light about to break through would be impossible to ignore. Your wounds are not evidence of weakness. They are proof of divine preparation. The cracks in your soul are not mistakes. They are openings through which grace can finally enter. Sometimes I think of faith like a symphony written in silence. You can't hear it until your heart stops fighting the tempo. God is composing something in your life that will echo beyond this lifetime, but every note depends on your willingness to surrender to the rhythm. Romans 8:28 reminds us, And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Even what once felt like loss is being reorchestrated into harmony. You may wonder, what if I fail again? What if I miss the sign? What if I'm not ready? But the truth is, God never calls the ready. He readies the called. The universe doesn't wait for perfection. It responds to obedience. The moment you say, yes, heaven begins to rearrange everything in your favor. In my own quiet seasons, I've learned something profound. Divine timing often looks like delay, but it's actually calibration. What feels like waiting is God adjusting your frequency to match your destiny. Like an instrument being tuned before the concert, your soul must vibrate in resonance with the higher calling it's meant to embody. Only then can your purpose ring true, clear, and unstoppable. And when that alignment happens, when your spirit, mind, and body move as one, you'll sense the shift. The confusion will dissolve. The noise will quiet. You'll feel peace, not because the storm has ended, but because you've learned to walk on water through it. That is the hallmark of divine activation, calm authority in the face of chaos. This is where ordinary life ends and extraordinary purpose begins. The awakening you've been craving is already underway. Heaven is not far away. It's within you, waiting for recognition. The final warning is not about fear. It's about remembrance. You are not being punished. You are being prepared to step into your original light, to walk as one who remembers where they came from. So breathe deeply, chosen one. The heavens have not forgotten you. This is your time to rise, to trust, to realign. And when you do, your very existence will become a living testimony, a melody of redemption the world desperately needs to hear. At the end of this message, I invite you, yes, you, to share what this awakening means in your journey. Tell your story. Your voice may be the echo that awakens another sleeper soul. Together, we are the symphony of the divine, each of us a note in God's great composition. The universe is converging around you right now, folding in like a divine equation, arranging people, places, and events with such precision that nothing is random anymore. You might feel the air around you thickening with significance, as if unseen hands are sculpting the atmosphere itself. This is the stage of alignment where heaven and earth meet in quiet orchestration. Opportunities rise like constellations, truths emerge from shadows, and obstacles are quietly removed by forces beyond your comprehension. Your readiness, chosen one, is the key that opens this door, but vigilance is what keeps it open. Every choice you make from here either accelerates your awakening or delays it. There are no neutral steps anymore. Even your silence carries spiritual weight. Though you are almost fully prepared, God has noticed a gap, a fine fracture between your spirit and the higher frequency it is meant to sustain. It's not visible to human eyes, but heaven perceives it clearly. That gap is subtle, like a single note out of tune in a celestial symphony. Your mind may be sharp, your plans well laid, but your spirit, the true engine of destiny, is still learning to hum in harmony with the divine. And until that spark is complete, the path ahead may feel disjointed, confusing, filled with invisible resistance. But do not mistake this for failure. It is refinement. As written in Proverbs 3:12, "For the Lord disciplines those he loves, as a father the son he delights in." God is not punishing you, he is tuning you. Think of it like an ancient violin, beautifully carved, exquisitely made, but slightly off-pitch. No matter how skillful the player, the sound cannot reach its intended beauty unless the strings are tightened to perfect resonance. You are that instrument. Heaven is the musician. The tension you feel is not punishment, but calibration, divine fingers turning the pegs of your soul until your sound vibrates in harmony with eternity. The moment you recognize the imbalance, you begin to bridge it. Awareness is alignment's first movement. The parts of yourself that still sleep, fear, pride, regret, self-doubt, are not enemies. they are invitations. By acknowledging them, you create sacred space for divine energy to flow in, heal, and transmute them into light. Psalm 51:10 whispers, "Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me." That renewal is what's happening now, whether you realize it or not. Ask yourself, quietly but honestly, where in my spirit am I resisting what heaven is sending me? What part of me still clings to what must be released? What am I afraid to become once I'm fully free? The answers may rise slowly, like embers glowing in the dark, but they are the keys that unlock your transformation. When God corrects your alignment, it becomes deeply personal, deliberate, and precise. He doesn't move in generalities. He moves through details. He adjusts your relationships, your emotions, your desires. He rearranges even the rhythm of your days until everything echoes His intention. You are being invited to rise into a level of spiritual power that is not common, a state of consciousness so radiant it transforms not only your life, but the atmosphere around you. The universe is preparing to pour divine energy directly into your existence. And this is not mere metaphor. It is the vibrational equivalent of sunlight entering the bloodstream of your soul. God is sending it to you because He knows you can carry it. But only if you open your heart to receive it without resistance, without doubt. To receive this light is to say, "Yes, I trust you more than I trust my fears." It is to choose faith over familiarity. Because every moment you hesitate, there are opposing forces waiting not to destroy you, but to distract you. The world is full of subtle distortions, noise disguised as purpose, pleasure masquerading as peace. But God's energy is the counterforce, a living shield that cuts through illusion. It is the same light spoken of in John 1-5. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. Imagine this energy as sunlight breaking through a stormed sky. The clouds cannot resist it, they only delay it. The light always finds a way. If you turn away, you miss its warmth. If you face it, you are changed forever. This is not poetry, it is divine physics. Light transforms everything it touches, and once this energy fills you, your spiritual vision sharpens. You begin to perceive what was hidden, to sense what was once beyond awareness. The great psychologist Carl Jung once said that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. God's awakening power is the force that illuminates your inner shadow, transforming it into revelation. When this divine current flows freely, even your pain becomes purposeful. You start to see that every wound was a window waiting for light to enter. But openness is not passive, it's an act of courage. Accepting divine energy requires a conscious release of bitterness, control, fear, and the need to understand everything. Faith is not blind, it is visionary. It's choosing to walk forward when the bridge hasn't appeared yet. It's believing that if God called you to the edge, it's because He already built the ground beneath your next step. Isaiah 40:31 reminds us, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength, they will soar on wings like eagles." This isn't just poetic imagery, it's a spiritual law. When you trust divine timing, you rise above resistance. You begin to see from a higher altitude, where everything once confusing becomes beautifully clear. The resistance you feel now is not the enemy of progress, it's the friction that sharpens your wings. And once you take flight, nothing can pull you back into the old gravity. This divine surge you're feeling, this inner quickening, is irreversible. It's the spiritual ignition of your destiny. Yet remember, attention is your anchor. Every distraction, every mental loop of doubt, every rational excuse is a trap crafted to dull your light. The enemy of purpose is not darkness, it's dilution. To awaken fully, you must choose focus like a sacred vow. The composer Arvo Pärt once said, "I have discovered that it is enough when a single note is beautifully played." That's the secret to alignment. Your life doesn't need to perform, it needs to resonate. The universe doesn't demand perfection, it seeks harmony. And when your inner note matches heaven's frequency, miracles don't need to be chased. They appear naturally, as if drawn by gravity. At this stage, the awakening becomes unstoppable. It's not a question of if it will happen, but how deeply you will allow it. God's light is not asking for your worthiness, it's asking for your willingness. This is the final calibration, the last refinement before expansion. Breathe deeply. Feel the alignment taking shape within you, the balance between action and surrender, faith and understanding. Your mind bows to your spirit bows to God, and in that sacred hierarchy, divine order is restored. When that order is complete, you will not only walk in purpose, you will radiate it. The people around you will feel it before you speak. The energy in rooms will shift when you enter. You will no longer just follow the light. You will become the reflection of it. The spiritual awakening within you cannot be postponed any longer. It is moving, breathing, transforming, even now. Allow it to unfold. Release the fear that you are unworthy of it. You were chosen for this moment long before you were born, and the heavens have been waiting patiently for you to remember. God is asking you to stay fully present now, to walk with deliberate steps and honor the sacred momentum that has been building inside you for so long. You are standing in the space between who you were and who you are becoming. The old shell is breaking, the old voice fading, and the old fears trembling at the sound of your transformation. This is not chaos, it is alchemical rebirth. The universe, under divine orchestration, is melting away everything that can no longer accompany you forward. You may feel fear, you may feel doubt, you may feel confusion, but these are not the signs of failure. They are the proof that the awakening is real. Every great transformation begins with trembling. Think of it as a crucible, the sacred fire where your soul is refined. The heat is not meant to harm you, but to reveal your essence. Gold only becomes pure when it survives the furnace. And right now, your spirit is being purified in the same way. Zechariah 13:9 declares, "I will refine them as silver is refined, and test them as gold is tested. They will call on my name, and I will answer them." That is what this moment is, an answer, not a punishment. God is burning away illusion, not identity. You are shedding layers of what never belonged to you, the masks of fear, the weight of false narratives, the chains of old limitations. As these layers fall, something extraordinary begins to happen. Your body, mind, and spirit start to synchronize into one divine rhythm. You move differently. You speak with more intention. You begin to sense the energy of every room you enter. This alignment is not just a personal victory, it's a ripple through creation. The clarity, strength, and vision you gain now will radiate outward, touching people you may never meet. Matthew 5:14 says, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." Your awakening is that light, and it was never meant to remain private. But with great illumination comes great testing. The brighter the flame, the more moths it attracts. That's why God calls you now to vigilance, not fear, but wisdom. Protect your energy, the Spirit whispers. Guard your heart, because not everyone who smiles is a friend, and not every opportunity is divine. There are those who, knowingly or unknowingly, will attempt to siphon your focus. They might wear familiar faces or speak flattering words, yet the vibration behind their presence reveals their intent. Every awakening soul must learn the sacred art of discernment. Awareness is your shield. It is not about closing your heart. It is about setting holy boundaries. Like a lantern in a midnight forest, your awareness lights the safe path and exposes the hidden thorns. Proverbs 4:23 advises, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." That is not just a warning, it is divine strategy. Ask yourself softly, who or what around me drains my spirit instead of feeding it? Which voices amplify peace and which ignite confusion? Am I protecting my light or trading it for acceptance? These questions are not judgment, they are mirrors. They reflect the truth God is already showing you through subtle patterns, repeated warnings, and gut feelings that refuse to be silenced. When you start to pay attention, you'll notice that divine protection doesn't always look like open doors. Sometimes it looks like unanswered messages, friendships that fade, or sudden changes that pull you away from familiar ground. The human heart calls it loss. Heaven calls it preservation. Psalm 121:7-8 assures, "The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore." Guarding yourself does not mean isolation. It means walking through the forest of life with your lantern held high, aware, discerning, but unafraid. Awareness is not paranoia. It is participation in divine intelligence. When your inner spark rises, negative energies are drawn to it like iron to a magnet. They appear as circumstances, people, or even fleeting thoughts. But every one of them is a test of sovereignty. Will you dim your light to make others comfortable, or will you stand as the flame that guides the way? This vigilance must become a spiritual habit. Every moment is a crossroad, a choice between alignment and distraction. Following God's path will not always feel comfortable, but it will always lead to clarity. Deviating may seem logical or safe, but it costs more than it gives. The illusions of ease often conceal the traps of delay. Consider Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, imprisoned for false accusations, yet never forsaken. Or Moses, who wandered through deserts longer than most could endure, carrying faith as his compass. Their paths were never easy, but each was orchestrated to prepare them for divine impact. You too are in your preparation season, and its purpose is eternal. The painter Michelangelo once said, "The greater the danger in the work, the greater the value in the artist." God, the ultimate artist, is chiseling your character the same way he carved David from marble. Each trial is a stroke of divine craftsmanship, shaping you for greatness. Spiritually, this process is akin to quantum alignment, a sacred physics of the soul. Every thought, emotion, and choice emits a frequency. When those frequencies harmonize with heaven's pattern, reality itself begins to bend in your favor. Miracles, synchronicities, and sudden clarity are not random. They are the resonance of divine coherence. But to sustain that resonance, you must remain deliberate. Don't rush, don't drift. The world will test your patience with distractions that sparkle but lead nowhere. Some will test your compassion by pulling on old wounds. Others will test your discernment by disguising confusion as opportunity. Yet through it all, one truth remains. Your destiny cannot be manipulated when your spirit stands in alignment with God. Your plans, your talents, your dreams, they are sacred tools, not ends in themselves. They bear fruit only when rooted in divine soil. John 15:5 reminds us, "I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing." So, move forward relentlessly. Let nothing sever the connection that sustains your light. The stakes are higher than they've ever been, because your impact will reach farther than you can imagine. Heaven is counting on your obedience, not because God needs you, but because the world does. Listen deeply to the inner nudges, the whispers in prayer, the synchronicities that line your path. These are not coincidences, they are coordinates. They are the breadcrumbs of destiny left by a loving Creator who wants to lead you home. And if fear tries to speak, let it speak, but don't let it lead. If doubt arises, let faith answer with silence. The crucible you're walking through is not your end, it's your unveiling. Soon, the pressure will turn to peace. The confusion will turn to clarity. The noise will dissolve into a single, luminous truth. You were always destined for this moment. So, hold the lantern high, keep your heart steady. Protect your light, but don't hide it. You are walking through sacred fire, and when you emerge, the world will see not the one who burned, but the one who glows. The reward that awaits you is far greater than anything you can currently visualize. You stand at the threshold of something vast, radiant, and sacred, the culmination of every unseen battle, every silent prayer, every midnight tear that watered the soil of your becoming. God has been preparing this season long before you even knew what to ask for. The blessings ahead are not simply compensation, they are divine inheritance. They come wrapped in clarity, peace, and purpose. The kind of fulfillment that doesn't just touch your life, but transforms the entire frequency of your existence. Every sacrifice, every act of patience, every moment you chose faith over fear, all of it has been converging to bring you here. The universe, under heaven's orchestration, is aligning doors you didn't even know existed. Paths you thought were blocked will unfold like light breaking through stone. Connections will emerge that seem impossibly timed. What once required striving will begin to flow effortlessly, not because the road has changed, but because you have. You've become attuned to divine rhythm. But understand this, the reward God has for you is not measured in things, but in transformation. Material abundance is the echo, not the essence. The true gift is what happens within you. Your perception sharpens, your intuition deepens, your sense of purpose expands until it fills every breath, every word, every step. Suddenly, the world doesn't just look different, it feels different. You begin to see through the fog of illusion, recognizing truth in every encounter and energy in every exchange. This is the birth of divine discernment, a sensitivity that allows you to feel the intention behind words, the vibration behind actions, the light or shadow within spaces. 1 Corinthians 2-9 tells us, "No eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no mind has imagined what God has prepared for those who love Him." You are stepping into that unseen preparation now. To fully receive it, you must remain open and vigilant. Divine flow is like the wind, invisible, powerful, and easily disrupted by resistance. Fear, pride, and distraction are the stones that block the river. They whisper that you must control what was only meant to be trusted. Don't let them. Let your spirit remain fluid, like water that finds its way even through rock. Every time you choose trust over tension, the flow strengthens. Ask yourself, quietly but with courage, am I truly ready to receive without control? Can I allow blessings to unfold without demanding to define them? Do I trust that what is mine by divine right will never be taken from me? These are not questions of doubt, they are invitations to maturity. They are how heaven tests the readiness of your vessel. For God's rewards are reflections of your readiness. The more you align with truth, the more light you can safely carry. Divine power requires responsibility, the humility to receive, and the wisdom to use it well. The universe does not reward ego, it rewards obedience, and the more you rise, the greater your influence. You will not just inspire people, you will awaken them. Your spiritual elevation will radiate through your words, your energy, even your silence. It will create ripples that echo beyond your lifetime, shaping destinies yet unborn. Matthew 25-23 reminds us, "You have been faithful with a few things, I will put you in charge of many things." You are entering that multiplication stage. What once felt small, unseen, or unrecognized will now expand exponentially, not for your glory, but for divine purpose. Yet know this, as your awakening intensifies, so will the resistance. Every spiritual ascension triggers equal spiritual opposition. The same heat that forges gold also draws impurities to the surface. You will encounter distractions disguised as opportunities, flattery, masking, manipulation, familiar voices carrying old energy that no longer serves you. Don't fear these things, recognize them. They are proof that you are rising. Negative forces, whether human or unseen, are drawn to light because they feed on attention. Their power ends where your focus begins. This is why discernment is your greatest protection. Not every invitation is divine. Not every partnership is sacred. Some doors are beautifully decorated traps. Ephesians 6:11 says, "Put on the full armor of God, so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes." That armor is not physical, it is awareness, prayer, and steadfast peace. The writer and mystic Khalil Gibran once said, "Your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding." In the same way, resistance is not punishment, it is revelation. It exposes what still needs healing, what still seeks validation, what still fears surrender. Each test that appears before you is not random, it is divinely scripted to measure your alignment and strengthen your trust. Spiritually, this is the law of energy equilibrium, what quantum physicists might call resonance and theologians might call divine justice. The light you emit attracts both elevation and testing, because every increase of power must find its balance. When you understand this, you no longer fear challenges, you interpret them. You realize that opposition is a signal of expansion, not failure. When manipulation arises in words, in relationships, in subtle emotional pulls, don't respond with panic, respond with prayer. Stillness is often the loudest statement of faith. Remember that darkness cannot comprehend light, it only imitates it. The enemy's strategy is imitation, not creation. That's why discernment, not reaction, is your shield. Isaiah 54:17 assures, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn." The verse doesn't promise that weapons won't form, it promises they won't succeed. Every challenge that rises against you is already destined to fall. The deeper you move into alignment, the more natural peace becomes. You begin to see that your task is not to fight every battle, but to recognize which ones are already won. God's plan does not require your exhaustion, only your participation. Miracles are not manufactured, they are revealed when you stop resisting. Your part is simple, though never easy. Remain steadfast. Keep your spiritual posture upright, even when the world leans heavy. Guard your mind as you would guard your breath. When chaos swirls, remember that storms don't drown, ships' panic does. Let your soul remain anchored in divine stillness. Every thought of doubt, every whisper of fear, every glittering distraction is part of the test. The question is not whether the storm will come, it's whether your foundation will hold. And it will, because it was built in obedience, in patience, and in faith. You are not standing at the end of your journey. You are standing at the entrance to abundance. The staircase you've been climbing was never random. Each step was crafted by divine architecture. And now, the doors before you are opening. They won't just reveal opportunity, they'll reveal identity. You'll remember who you've always been, a chosen vessel, refined by trials, entrusted with light. As this realization unfolds, let humility be your crown, gratitude your weapon, stillness your sanctuary, and love unshaken, unconditional love, your mark of true awakening. For the greatest reward is not what you receive, but who you become in the receiving. When your story is told, may it echo like a psalm of victory. May generations hear it and know that you were one who walked faithfully, not perfectly, but courageously. The heavens are preparing to celebrate your arrival into divine purpose. So, lift your head, breathe deeply. The wait was not wasted, the refining was not in vain. Your reward is not coming, it's already unfolding. And the angels are already whispering, it is time. Sudden distractions, enticing shortcuts, guilt-tripping voices that whisper compromise. None of these are coincidences. They are tests, divine stress points that appear precisely when your light grows strongest. Your spiritual spark has become visible in the unseen realms, and the universe responds to your acceleration with resistance. The higher the ascent, the denser the air. The more focused your gaze on God, the more fiercely the shadows will try to draw your eyes away. This is not punishment, it is confirmation. Resistance only proves momentum. As James 1:12 declares, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised." You are standing in the tension between testing and triumph, and heaven is asking you to anchor yourself deeply, so deeply that no storm can uproot your peace. Stand strong. Root yourself in divine rhythm. Let meditation, prayer, and reflection become your daily armor. Visualize a radiant light enveloping you, not as imagination, but as reality. That light is God's frequency surrounding your energy field, shielding you from deception, confusion, and despair. Every time you recognize manipulation and choose truth, your spiritual strength multiplies. You become less reactive, more radiant. The battle doesn't end, but your authority within it grows. Understand this: divine intervention is never domination, it is collaboration. God sends signs, guidance, and energy, but He will not override your free will. Heaven can whisper, but only you can walk. If you ignore or resist these signals, the flow halts. The consequences are not punishment, they are the natural result of disconnection. Deuteronomy 30:19 reminds us, "I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life." This is why there is urgency in the Spirit now. Your awareness and obedience are the levers that unlock heaven's assistance. Each sign you receive, a dream, a synchronicity, a sudden insight, is not random. It's a coded message from God's navigation system. Some arrive as inner nudges, others as repeating numbers, melodies, or even unexpected conversations that echo what your spirit already knows. These are not coincidences, they are lifelines. Ignoring them is dangerous because every sign carries timing. A missed signal today can create unnecessary struggle tomorrow. God cannot carry you where you refuse to go. John 10:27 says, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." To follow is an act of alignment, not passivity. Obedience in this season is not blind, it is luminous. It means listening with your soul instead of your fear. It means being alert, discerning, and ready to act, even when logic hesitates. Ask yourself now, where have I been hesitating to act on what I already know is true? What inner signal have I been silencing? Am I mistaking comfort for confirmation? The answers may sting, but they are doorways to break through. Awareness is the first light of transformation. These next days, these next moments are pivotal. Heaven is calling you to a period of sacred recalibration. Think of it like tuning a high-performance engine. Every adjustment, every micro-refinement increases your ability to harness divine energy without burnout or distortion. You are being fine-tuned to operate at a higher spiritual frequency. Ignore the calibration and confusion grows. Embrace it and you step into your destiny with supernatural clarity. This is your spiritual laboratory, the chamber where alignment is tested and proven. Every decision, every word, every emotion now carries spiritual weight beyond your understanding. God is not merely watching, He is engineering circumstances that test your readiness to hold the light He's giving you. The next few days are not ordinary, they are sacred intervals of preparation where the invisible becomes visible and your choices echo across dimensions. During this window, step back and breathe, recenter, cleanse your heart of resentment, fear, and guilt. Create silence so heaven can speak. Surround yourself with what uplifts your vibration: music, prayer, nature, scripture. The modern mystic Thomas Merton once wrote, "Silence is the speech of God, all else is a poor translation. Let that silence be your sanctuary. Within it, you will begin to hear the subtleties that noise had drowned out. As you clear the clutter, you'll feel the divine flow returning. Ideas will spark effortlessly. peace will anchor your decisions. And one morning, without warning, you'll sense the ignition, the surge of spiritual electricity awakening in your chest. It's not imagination, it's activation. This is the moment your higher self connects fully to divine current. At first, it may feel like heightened sensitivity, a sudden knowing, sharper perception, a magnetic pull toward truth. Then it deepens. You begin to discern motives without being told. You see through manipulation before words are spoken. You notice patterns of energy as clearly as others see color. That is the awakening of divine sight, the alignment of intuition and spirit. Psalm 119-105 captures it. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. That light is now burning within you. It reveals intentions, unmasks deception, and illuminates opportunity. Nothing external has changed, only your vision. The world looks the same, but you are seeing from the mountaintop now. Spiritually, what's happening inside you mirrors the principle of neuroplasticity, how the brain rewires itself through repeated focus. In the same way, your spiritual pathways are being rewired by sustained obedience. Every time you choose truth, you carve a new channel for divine energy to flow. Every time you act in faith, you strengthen the neural and spiritual circuitry of destiny. You are literally training your consciousness to host heaven. But remember, clarity carries responsibility. To know truth and ignore it is to dim the light entrusted to you. To recognize deception and still entertain it is to sabotage your own peace. You are being called to live as a spiritual warrior, not with aggression, but with awareness. Each moment of clarity is a weapon forged in stillness, sharpened by prayer. This spark within you is not temporary. It is eternal ignition. It is the sign that you are awakening into your divine identity, the version of yourself that heaven always saw. You are no longer walking toward your purpose, you are walking as your purpose. Every thought now is a seed, every word a vibration, every act a declaration of who you truly are. As the spark grows, you'll notice that confusion fades. What once required searching now feels instinctive. You'll recognize people's true intentions, not by logic, but by resonance. You'll feel peace where truth dwells, and dissonance where falsehood hides. The divine will speak not through thunder, but through recognition. Embrace this spark completely. Let it saturate your mind, steady your emotions, and guide your actions. Trust that the same power that began this awakening will sustain it. You are not expected to be perfect, only present. Each moment of alignment multiplies grace. Each act of awareness amplifies power. And when the tests come again, and they will remember this truth, the battle was never against darkness itself, but against the forgetting of your own light. God's plan is unfolding precisely. You are not late. You are not lost. You are being fine-tuned for the exact destiny He wrote for you before time began. So breathe, stay centered, protect your focus as if it were treasure, because it is. The universe is recalibrating itself around your readiness. Heaven is watching, waiting, whispering. Be still. The spark has been lit. The moment you now stand in marks the beginning of your unstoppable journey. Heaven has shifted something in the unseen. You can almost feel it, a gentle tremor beneath the surface of your soul. What is awakening inside you is not random. It is the divine signal that your time has come. The awareness that fills you is not just clarity, it is discernment, the sacred eye of the spirit that sees through illusion. You will start to notice traps that once went unseen. Words will carry new layers of meaning. You'll recognize energy before it speaks, and intentions before they unfold. Smiles will no longer confuse you, for you will feel the vibration behind them. This is not cynicism, it is sight. God is revealing what others try to conceal, not to make you suspicious, but to make you wise. As Luke 8:17 reminds us, "For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open." Your vision is being sharpened, because your purpose is too great to be hindered by deception. Awareness is empowerment. Once you identify manipulation, guilt, or energy drains for what they are, you are no longer their prisoner. You begin to choose alignment instead of compromise, truth instead of illusion, growth instead of stagnation. Life itself begins to respond differently, more transparent, more intentional, as though the universe now conspires with your awareness to guide you through the fog. You may wonder, why am I seeing things others can't? Why do familiar places now feel different, as if the atmosphere itself has shifted? Because you are no longer perceiving through fear, you are perceiving through spirit. What once passed as normal now vibrates at the wrong frequency. That dissonance is your cue to step higher. These revelations are not punishment, they are privilege. Many live their entire lives under the veil of appearances, but God has chosen to lift that veil for you. It is divine favor to see the truth. As Proverbs 2:6 declares, "For the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth come knowledge and understanding." This wisdom is how you will navigate the next chapter, one of purpose, clarity, and profound protection. All preparation, all awakening, all divine orchestration culminates in this single moment. Everything that once confused you now aligns. Heaven has synchronized the details. The people meant for you are already on their way. The timing has been refined to perfection. Your plan A, the one written for your life since before time, has reached activation. You no longer need to wait. You only need to walk. But courage will be demanded of you. This moment is not for those who cling to comfort. It belongs to those who dare to trust what they cannot yet see. You are being asked to step beyond logic, into faith. The unseen is not empty, it's where God builds miracles. 2 Corinthians 5-7 reminds us, "For we walk by faith, not by sight." You may feel the faint tremor of fear rise as you approach the unknown. But remember, fear is simply faith pointed in the wrong direction. Turn it around. The same energy that fuels worry can fuel worship. The same heartbeat that trembles with doubt can thrum with divine confidence. Ask yourself quietly, what am I still afraid to release, even though I know it no longer fits my destiny? That question is your invitation to freedom. For every fear that leaves, faith takes its place. This is the sacred window, the moment heaven has been waiting for you to claim. Waiting longer is unnecessary. Hesitating now is costly. The universe stands in readiness, the angels holding their breath as you prepare to act. This is where divine orchestration meets human obedience. God has paved the path, but he waits for your step. Each choice you make in this hour will echo through eternity. Every word, every intention, every thought carries weight beyond comprehension. When you move in alignment, heaven moves with you. When you act from fear, confusion multiplies. The choice between destiny and delay is being made moment by moment inside your own heart. This is not meant to pressure you, but to awaken you. You are far more powerful than you realize. The decisions you make in this divine interval will not only shape your future, but ripple into the lives of those connected to your purpose. Your yes will unlock blessings for others who don't yet know they depend on your courage. Isaiah 41:10 whispers reassurance. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. That is the energy covering you now, divine steadiness, invisible but unmistakable. The universe is ready to respond. Blessings long prepared are aligning like stars waiting for dawn. When you move, they will move. When you step, the path will appear. It may not unfold all at once, but each obedient step will reveal the next, illuminated by the quiet certainty of faith. In this sacred rhythm, your spiritual spark expands. You begin to sense truth, not just in words, but in vibrations. You'll walk into a room and know what's real. You'll meet a person and feel their intention. The Holy Spirit within you will act as an internal compass, guiding without confusion. You are no longer living reactively, you are living prophetically. Every encounter becomes purposeful, every delay divine. Even opposition becomes instruction. This is the shift from surviving to stewarding, from waiting for signs to becoming one. Still, discernment is not detachment, it is love with wisdom. To see truth clearly and still walk in compassion is the mark of spiritual maturity. The Renaissance painter Fra Angelico once said that he painted with prayer. In the same way, let your choices now become prayers, acts of faith expressed through motion. As you act, keep asking within, am I moving from peace or from pressure, from conviction or from comparison? Those questions will protect your discernment. They will remind you that obedience is not about haste, but harmony. And when doubt returns, and it will remember that you are not walking toward God, you are walking with Him. The Creator is not distant. He is the pulse within your courage, the whisper beneath your hesitation, the peace that steadies your stride. You are the living proof of His divine choreography. So release the hesitation, lay down the weight of uncertainty. The time for waiting is over, the time for witnessing has begun. Your next breath is your declaration of readiness. The heavens have already written this chapter, you are simply stepping into it. The universe does not resist your destiny, it resonates with it. When you move in obedience, the very fabric of reality bends to support your faith. The energy that once opposed you now rearranges itself to lift you higher. And as you walk, remember, destiny doesn't demand perfection, it demands participation. God doesn't ask you to know every answer, He asks you to trust the one who does. This is your moment, the crossing point between potential and manifestation. Walk forward with boldness, feel the power of divine alignment thrumming beneath your feet. The universe has waited eons for your yes. The lights of heaven are watching, the angels are aligning, and the voice of God whispers softly through the wind of your own breath, it's time. Finally, alignment is everything. It is the sacred bridge between who you are and who you were always meant to become. Your full power does not emerge through striving, it is awakened through surrender. When you release doubt, fear, and the need to control outcomes, you make room for the divine blueprint to unfold through you with elegance and precision. God's plan has never been a cage, it is the open sky. It is not restriction, it is liberation. When your thoughts, choices, and actions begin to harmonize with His guidance, you unlock a level of clarity, strength, and spiritual fulfillment beyond imagination. The very air around you seems to shift. The world feels more alive, more attuned, more intentional. Alignment is not coincidence, it is choreography. It is heaven and earth moving in rhythm with your obedience. Yet alignment asks something from you. It requires trust when logic resists. It asks for discipline when distractions multiply. It demands surrender not as defeat, but as sacred participation. Proverbs 3-5-6 whispers, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." To live in alignment is to listen to the subtle nudges, to honor the divine pauses, and to move when the Spirit stirs. It is to treat intuition as sacred conversation. It is to know that every detour is instruction and every delay is calibration. The rewards of such alignment are profound: heightened perception, unshakable confidence, and the effortless manifestation of divine solutions. You will find yourself speaking words that bring healing, sensing answers before questions arise, walking into rooms and shifting the atmosphere just by being. You will not need to announce your light, it will speak for you. Matthew 5:16 reminds, "Let your light so shine before others that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven." Ask yourself gently, am I truly listening, or am I still negotiating with the truth I already know? That question alone can transform the trajectory of your destiny. For true alignment is not partial, it is total surrender. It is not about perfection but presence. When your heart, mind, and will operate in one accord with God's rhythm, miracles cease to be rare, they become natural. Embrace this alignment and watch your power unfurl. Your plan is no longer potential, it is motion. Heaven has prepared, guided, and refined you for this moment. Everything you've endured was not delay, it was design. Step into this divine choreography with courage, for every cell in your being is now vibrating with readiness. And when your divine spark ignites, you will feel it as an awakening within your very bones, a pulse of light in your heart, a clarity in your mind, a heat in your spirit that cannot be ignored. It is not poetic exaggeration, it is spiritual physics. Energy responds to faith. The spark begins as a quiet awareness, then swells into fire. Jeremiah 20:9 echoes this truth. His word is in my heart like a fire shut up in my bones. I am weary of holding it in. Indeed, I cannot. Rate 2. That is the fire now stirring within you. It will challenge every limitation you ever believed in. The walls you once accepted as permanent will dissolve into doors. The boundaries that defined your capacity will stretch until they no longer exist. The universe itself will feel closer, almost responsive, as if creation has been waiting for your awakening to complete its symphony. But with every ignition comes intensity. You will be asked to expand your awareness, to rise above old frequencies. You will notice patterns others ignore, sense dangers before they surface, and discern opportunities that others mistake as ordinary. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. God is refining your perception until it becomes prophetic. Ask yourself when these sensations arise. Am I reacting from fear, or am I responding from discernment? That question will separate anxiety from intuition, panic from prophecy. The spiritual spark within you is not subtle, it commands attention. If you resist it, it will not disappear. It will wait, pulsing beneath the surface of your choices, urging you to remember. But if you embrace it, you will step into a level of purpose that redefines what life can be. This energy will feel overwhelming at first, emotions heightened, thoughts accelerating, time itself seeming to stretch and contract. But this is not chaos, it is calibration. You are adjusting to your true frequency. Stay grounded, stay present. The expansion you feel is sacred, but it requires balance. Through prayer, meditation, and mindful stillness, the raw energy transforms into clarity, insight, and unstoppable forward motion. The noise of the world will fade as the music of heaven takes center stage within you. Know this with certainty. The divine spark is the ultimate sign of readiness. It marks the point where hesitation ends and embodiment begins. It is heaven's announcement that your waiting season is over. With each conscious breath, with each intentional step, your spirit rises higher into resonance with divine order. Fear begins to melt, doubt begins to quiet, limitation begins to crumble. Isaiah 60:1 proclaims, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." This is not symbolic, it is literal. You are entering a realm where potential becomes power and destiny becomes daily reality. The universe is now alive with divine signals, signs, synchronicities, inner whispers, and sudden knowing. Pay attention to them. These are not random, they are coordinates. Trap alerts will appear too, subtle yet precise. A conversation that unsettles you, an opportunity that feels slightly off, a compliment laced with control. These are the tests of alignment. God heightens your sensitivity so that you can see through illusion before it harms your progress. You will notice micro-signals, a hesitation in someone's tone, an inconsistency in words, an atmosphere that feels heavy. Do not dismiss these sensations. They are divine intelligence communicating through intuition. Trust them. Your awareness is not superstition, it is communion. Ask quietly as you sense them, is this situation feeding my purpose or draining it? That question will protect you more than any armor. Discernment is not avoidance, it is empowerment. When you can identify manipulation, distraction, and deceit, You reclaim command over your energy and destiny. Every trap avoided becomes a triumph of wisdom. The more you practice vigilance, the stronger your spiritual shield becomes. Every alert, every revelation, every inner nudge is a divine lesson refining your clarity. You are not being tested to break, you are being trained to rule. And soon, you will notice something miraculous. The resistance that once intimidated you will begin to respect you. Darkness will hesitate before approaching, for it will recognize the authority of your light. You will move through situations that once confused you with ease, because alignment has become your armor. You will walk through life like a living conduit of divine energy, radiant, stable, powerful, yet peaceful. Your presence will bring order to chaos, truth to confusion, and comfort to the weary. You will no longer chase purpose. Purpose will flow through you. This is the culmination of everything you've prepared for the moment when divine spark and divine will become one. You have not merely awakened, you have aligned. And in that alignment, every prayer, every lesson, every trial finds meaning. So rise now, step into the brilliance that was always yours. Let your light stretch beyond boundaries and illuminate everything it touches. The universe is responding to your readiness. Heaven is celebrating your awakening. And as you move forward, remember, alignment is not the end of the journey, it is the rhythm of eternity. When the hidden dangers finally attempt to strike, you will already be a step ahead, steady, centered, and unshakable in your divine purpose. Every challenge that arises will meet a version of you that has already been fortified by heaven's preparation. You will sense the attack before it arrives, recognize the deception before it manifests, and disarm the threat before it takes form. The unseen world will see the glow of your discernment and hesitate to interfere. For everything you have trained for every prayer, every act of endurance, every silent night of faith is now entering motion. Plan A, the sacred blueprint of your highest purpose, is no longer an idea. It is alive, breathing, unfolding. The universe itself bends to accommodate this divine design. You can feel the shift in your spirit, the subtle rearranging of circumstances, the effortless emergence of divine timing. Heaven's orchestration is flawless. Every connection, every door, every conversation has been pre-written in light. Romans 8:28 reminds us, "And we know that all things work together for good, to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose." You are living this scripture in real time. Nothing is accidental. Every delay that frustrated you was a setup for alignment. Every detour that confused you was divine redirection. Now, the unfolding of Plan A will bring synchronicities and opportunities that confirm your path. It will feel as if the universe itself is speaking your name. Doors will open in ways you never imagined, some through invitation, others through intuition. Your awareness will heighten, your faith will sharpen. Each event will serve as both message and momentum. God's timing is flawless. Every moment, whether quiet or chaotic, is part of the choreography of destiny. You may find yourself marveling, how is everything aligning so perfectly, so suddenly? It is because heaven has waited for your readiness. Divine plans move at the speed of your obedience. With Plan A in motion, your task now is clarity and focus. The higher you rise, the thinner the air, the more vital it becomes to breathe deliberately. Avoid distractions that drain your spirit. Avoid deceptive influences that mimic truth but lack peace. Every thought, every action now carries exponential weight. Your alignment determines not only the speed of your progress, but the strength of your spiritual momentum. Colossians 3:2 calls out gently, "Set your mind on things above, not on earthly things." This is how you remain untouchable. When your focus is fixed on heaven, no earthly noise can distort your rhythm. Recognize, too, the magnitude of your path. This is not a solitary awakening, it is a ripple effect. As your destiny unfolds, you are not only transforming yourself, you are shifting the energy field around you. Every act of faith you take releases resonance into the world. Every truth you embody helps liberate someone still trapped in illusion. You become a living catalyst of divine order. You may pause and wonder, do I truly understand how many lives are intertwined with my obedience? That reflection alone reveals the sacred responsibility of your calling. You are part of a cosmic architecture. Each step you take recalibrates countless others. To harness your spiritual potential, your energy must align completely with God's force. This is a time of deep absorption, a sacred merging of your energy with divine current. Imagine your spirit as an instrument and God as both musician and melody. Every prayer, every breath, every moment of stillness tunes you to heaven's key. When you are tuned, you resonate. When you resonate, creation responds. This is why alignment is not optional, it is essential. Misalignment weakens your impact, but harmony amplifies power. The more consistently you maintain awareness through meditation, prayer, and intention, the stronger the current flows. John 15:4 declares, "Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit by itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me." Energy alignment is the invisible architecture of manifestation. It begins with release of resistance, of regret, of resentment. Past fears and unresolved wounds act like static in your frequency, blocking divine transmission. But when you surrender them, the channel clears. Each exhale becomes cleansing. Each conscious thought becomes magnetic. Every aligned intention becomes a spiritual command that reshapes reality. Think of it like the flow of electricity. Resistance diminishes current. Openness amplifies it. When the divine circuit is complete, your actions gain precision. Decisions come with ease. Intuition becomes instantaneous. You no longer strain to hear God, you simply know. As alignment deepens, ordinary moments turn into extraordinary breakthroughs. A conversation reveals strategy. A delay becomes divine timing. An obstacle transforms into opportunity. You start to see that every motion of life is heaven's language, and you are learning to read it fluently. Yet remember, alignment is continuous, not a destination but a rhythm. Each distraction, doubt, or negative thought can weaken your connection if left unguarded. So guard your mind like a fortress. Nurture your spirit like sacred ground. Invite divine energy consciously, moment by moment, breath by breath. The universe rewards those who remain vigilant and aware. The reward is not only abundance, it is authority. The more aligned you become, the more creation begins to cooperate with your command. Philippians 4:13 proclaims, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." That strength is not metaphorical, it is energetic, tangible, living within your field right now. As your vibration rises, attention rises with it, both divine and oppositional. Higher light attracts both admiration and resistance. Yet fear not. God has already provided spiritual shields, an invisible armor woven through prayer, awareness, and intention. These shields are not static, they evolve as you do. They strengthen when you act with faith, weaken when you feed fear. Picture this armor as radiant light encircling your being, reflecting negativity and amplifying divine flow. You will notice that the chaos of others no longer touches you deeply. Words meant to wound fall harmlessly away. Situations that once stirred anxiety now pass like distant clouds. Your peace becomes your fortress. Ask yourself, what am I feeding, fear or faith? For whatever you feed becomes your field. Your spiritual shields grow luminous when fueled by focus and trust. They fade only when neglected. Choose, then, to dwell in light intentionally. Your armor is not merely defensive, it is transformative. It converts obstacles into insight, enemies into teachers, pressure into polish. Even opposition becomes raw material for your ascension. The challenges that once terrified you will soon serve you. This is not poetic, it is divine law. The artist Caravaggio once painted light so vividly that it seemed alive within the darkness. He understood that illumination is most powerful when surrounded by shadow. Likewise, your radiance shines most fiercely against adversity. Shadows do not prove your weakness, they reveal your light. Trust this process completely. The shields are not symbolic, they are the manifestation of divine love. They ensure that as you ascend, you remain untouchable by deceit or distraction. Keep your practices alive. Prayer as your language, meditation as your grounding, gratitude as your armor polish. The world around you is filled with hidden narratives, veiled systems, and subtle manipulations. But God is unveiling them now, showing you what was concealed, unmasking falsehoods with precision. Situations you once accepted at face value will now reveal their hidden motives. Confusion will collapse into clarity. What was vague becomes visible. This unveiling is not to instill fear, but to fortify freedom. The truth you perceive will protect you. Your perception will sharpen until you see distortion before it reaches you. Communication, media, and relationships will all look different through your new sight. This is divine transparency, the reward of alignment. For when you see clearly, you cannot be controlled. When you walk in truth, deception has no doorway. You are now entering the season where awareness becomes armor, faith becomes frequency, and alignment becomes power. So, step forward, chosen one. Every atom of the universe is aligning in agreement with your obedience. Heaven and earth have conspired for your rise. The blueprint is no longer a plan, it is living prophecy unfolding through you. You are not simply walking into destiny, you are carrying it. Lies may arrive dressed as counsel, and distractions may sparkle like destiny, yet neither belongs to you. Awareness is your superpower, and right now it's being heightened beyond ordinary human capacity. This new sight is not about suspicion, it is about freedom, the holy capacity to respond from truth rather than react from fear. You begin choosing actions that honor your purpose, instead of being swept into narratives engineered to serve someone else's agenda. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8:32. Freedom is not the absence of pressure, it is the presence of clarity inside it. This is the shift from being influenced to being sovereign in your energy and decisions. Each unveiling of deception strengthens your alignment with God. You learn not only to recognize falsehood, but to protect yourself from its consequences. The armor you wear is not made of iron, but of light discernment forged in prayer, boundaries set in peace, focus held in love. As your vision refines, you move freely and boldly toward your destiny, aware and unwavering in your spiritual authority. Take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. Ephesians 5:11. Exposure in this season is mercy, because what is revealed can be healed or released. Time is accelerating. You can feel it, like a drum under the surface of your days. The universe is signaling urgency. The countdown to your next breakthrough has already begun, and decisive action is required. Hesitation now leaks momentum. Clarity and movement amplify the impact of the divine energy entering your life. This is not a moment for second-guessing. Let your yes be yes, and your no be no. Matthew 5:37. In this sacred window, half measures dilute anointing. Small distractions carry outsized consequences. Tiny compromises echo loudly in the spirit. Stay vigilant, be deliberate. Preparation is shaking hands with opportunity, and only the ready will step fully into their destiny. Ask yourself quietly, in the spaces between your breaths, what subtle voices try to tame my courage? Let that question surface whatever must be released. You were not designed to be managed by doubt. You were crafted to be led by the Spirit. When the wind of purpose fills your lungs, indecision loses its throne. Your clarity becomes a corridor, your obedience the key. Think of this period as a spiritual launch window. Your life is on the pad, engines primed, navigation plotted. but ignition requires agreement. Waiting and procrastinating delay impact. Focused movement propels you into unprecedented levels of power, awareness, and opportunity. The countdown is also a test of faith. Can you trust that God has prepared every detail, even when you cannot preview the entire flight? For the vision awaits its appointed time. If it seems slow, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay. Habakkuk 2-3. Appointed time is not passive time, it is active readiness. You are not stalling, you are steadying. Not pausing, you are positioning. Notice how your intuition has sharpened. You recognize patterns sooner, read atmospheres quicker, sense misalignment faster. A phrase that flatters yet feels heavy, an offer that glitters yet steals your peace. A path that promises speed but demands your soul. These are not mere hunches, they are dispatches from heaven to your spirit. Ask within, does this opportunity expand my obedience or entertain my ego? When the answer is honest, your feet know where to walk. The world is loud with curated narratives, headlines, half-truths, and hustles designed to bend your focus. But your sight is being consecrated. You will discern the seam between truth and theater, feel the fracture beneath polished language, hear the difference between a call and a lure. Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it." Isaiah 30-21. That voice is steadying your stride. It will not shout, it will shepherd. Remember how far you've come. The seasons of pruning that taught you what to release, the deserts that trained you to find water in the Word, the nights when you sang to keep your spirit awake. None of it was wasted. Every lesson is fuel. Every scar is intelligence. You have been learning the language of alignment, and now you speak it fluently. You are not trying to become the person who can carry Plan A. You are that person. The blueprint is no longer theory, it is motion. With motion comes gravity, and with gravity comes resistance. Some will question your pace, others will covet your peace. Do not barter your focus for their comfort. Set your face like flint and keep moving. Ask your heart in the quiet, what am I willing to lose to stay aligned? When the answer is anything that dims my light, the path before you brightens. God's timing is not simply perfect, it is protective. It gathers the right people, delays the wrong rooms, and choreographs the intersections you could never engineer on your own. Guard your mind, nurture your spirit. Where you place your attention is where you plant your authority. Attend to your inner weather prayer to clear the air, worship to warm the atmosphere, silence to let the ground settle. The soul that tends to its climate carries calm into storms. You'll notice negativity striking you at odd angles but failing to penetrate. That is the promise of your protection becoming palpable. Clarity emerges where confusion dominated. Courage rises where anxiety nested. Wisdom stands where reaction once ruled. Visualize it, a radiant field around you, responding to intention, reflecting malice, amplifying guidance. Fear, envy, and doubt weaken the field. Faith, focus, and gratitude fortify it. This is not fantasy, it is the physics of the spirit, the resonance of a life attuned to God. As your frequency stabilizes, you stop negotiating with distractions. You stop auditioning for rooms you outgrew. You stop defending the anointing that simply needs to be lived. Practice swift obedience. When the nudge arrives, move. When the check in your spirit tightens, pause. When joy flickers at the edge of a choice, lean in. Your days become a choreography of small obediences that unlock disproportionate outcomes. This is how destiny feels up close. Not dramatic at every step, but precise. Not noisy, but undeniably guided. Your ordinary begins to look like other people's miracles. And when doubt attempts its old theater, raising phantoms of what if, let Scripture be your anchor and your answer. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths. Proverbs 3-6. Straight does not always mean short, but it does mean sure. You are walking a sure path now, even if it bends through places your map did not anticipate. Your sovereignty is not isolation, it is stewardship. You are not hardening your heart, you are guarding your garden. Boundaries protect fruit, focus multiplies harvest. Language becomes sacrament. You speak to build, not to boast. You forgive quickly to stay light. You refuse cynicism to stay clean. You choose hope because despair is an idol that demands worship and returns nothing. Listen, the countdown is not a threat, it's a promise. It tells you that something has already been lit, that thrust is available, that trajectory is set. All that remains is ignition. Stand tall at the edge of this window and feel the hum of readiness in your bones. Heaven is not asking you to impress. Heaven is inviting you to agree. Say yes with your posture. Say yes with your schedule. Say yes with your silence. You are stepping into synchronized providence, where right doors meet right timing, and right timing meets a right heart. This is why you have been refined. So the weight of what's coming rests on a soul that won't fracture. Your influence will widen, but your inner room will grow quieter. Your opportunities will multiply, but your yes will stay singular, aimed at God. Move now, not recklessly but resolutely. Let your decisions be clean, your motives clear, your pace steady. The obedient life is not hurried, it is honed. And as you move, watch how creation cooperates, how conversations tilt toward favor, how obstacles reframe as instruction, how pathways appear where there was only wall. Favor is not luck. Favor is alignment bearing fruit in public. You were not chosen to be consumed by urgency, but to be clarified by it. Time's acceleration is your summons, not your stressor. Hear the quiet thunder within. It is the pulse of purpose, the cadence of a life synchronized with heaven. Lift your eyes, square your shoulders, and step through this launch window with a fearless heart. God has prepared every detail. Your readiness, alignment, and courage are the keys placed in your hand. And when you feel the engines of destiny ignite, don't look back to confirm what you already know. Look forward and keep breathing. The sky has room for you. The mission was written with you in mind. The signal is green. And now, chosen one, we've reached the end of this message, but not the end of your journey. What has been awakened within you tonight was never meant to fade with the closing words of a video. It is meant to continue breathing inside you, expanding, unfolding, transforming every corner of your life. You have walked through revelation. You've faced the tests, the mirrors, the warnings. You've learned that divine timing is never late, that discernment is not a burden but a crown, and that alignment with God is not a restriction, it is freedom itself. Now, you stand at the threshold of divine activation. Heaven has done its part, the rest is in your hands. Carry this awareness with reverence. Guard it like sacred fire. The world will try to distract you again, to pull you back into noise, but you will remember this voice, not mine, but the one that stirred within you as the words reached your heart. That voice is your compass. That stillness is your strength. If this message has resonated with your spirit, if you felt a flicker of truth, peace, or clarity moving through you, I invite you to be part of this journey beyond this moment. Let's build a community of light, a gathering of souls who refuse to sleepwalk through destiny. You can do that by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing it with someone who needs this message, someone who might be standing at the edge of their own awakening right now. Every like, every comment, every share helps this message travel to the hearts that heaven intends to reach. It's more than engagement, it's participation in purpose. And to those who have supported this channel through super thanks, prayers, or simple presence, know this: I see you, I honor you, and heaven multiplies every seed of generosity you've sown, whether it was a word, a gesture, or quiet faith. Your support keeps these messages alive, but your presence keeps them sacred. Take a deep breath with me. Let peace settle over your mind like soft rain. Let grace fill the spaces where anxiety once lived. And let gratitude remind you that you are never alone on this path. Because as you walk away from this message tonight, you do not leave the presence of God, you walk with it. His light moves before you, His wisdom surrounds you, and His strength rises within you. You are protected, you are guided, and you are chosen not for perfection, but for purpose. So, go forth now, shine your light without apology. Be the voice of calm in the storm, the presence of peace in confusion, the reminder of heaven in a world that forgets. And may everything you touch in this next season carry the fragrance of divine favor. Until we meet again in the next message, stay awake, stay aligned, and stay in the light. I bless you with clarity, courage, and serenity. May your steps be ordered, your faith be strengthened, and your purpose be fulfilled. Thank you for listening. Thank you for walking this path. And above all, thank you for being one of the chosen.